So yeah, that was the WWE Money in the Bank reviews. Once again, solid across the board. I know I'm supposed to be going band for band or have them go match for match, but like I don't fuck it. The Heatwave show was better. Like that. Like okay, I liked Heatwave more. I feel like they had more memorable shit going on. But I also feel like a lot of their stuff people are more over with me. But I also feel like damn nigga, we get it. There's a train of thought. But like I also feel like part of that is the fact that because NXT episodes are uploaded weekly, like as they air, not as they air, but they're uploaded. They're up. They change it from Wednesday to Thursday sometimes because Peacock is weird. But basically, you can watch an episode of NXT on Peacock the same week it airs on USA. Whereas with Raw and SmackDown, you're not watching them the same week. And like yeah, they're on Hulu, but the Hulu versions are 90 minutes, so you're never getting the full show. Raw is 3 hours. Watching a 90-minute cut of Raw just like yeah, you get the Cliff Notes version, but like you're missing half the show, and like you're missing a half hour of SmackDown every week. So like sometimes it just doesn't feel worth it. Especially like I have shit to do. I'm not watching multiple hours of wrestling every week. Like I'll watch NXT as it airs because it's the full show on Peacock, and then just leave it at that. So I feel like I just like Heatwave more because all the people are more over with me. I know what's going on with their character arcs because I watched the TV show. I know who to root for because I watched the TV show. I'm more invested in these matches because I watch the build because I watch the TV show. Versus WWE where like I just jumped into Money in the Bank blind after watching WrestleMania. I didn't even watch Clash at the Castle because okay, I'm not watching a pay per view on a Saturday at 12 o'clock. I have shit to do. You want to go to fuck? Like I get it, international fans, all that bullshit. But like you go to Australia, you're like, yeah, we're gonna do this big stadium show in Australia, and to our whole fans in North America, tune in at 8 a.m. on a Saturday. Bro, I'm not five. Like 8 a.m. on a Saturday, I'm either asleep or doing something. Like, like you want me to tune in at Saturday morning cartoon hours? And there ain't even no Saturday morning cartoons on. Like, cut, like, be fucking for real right now. BFFR, be fucking for real, cause I ain't doing it. So yeah, the Heatwave show was better to me, but I can see like but I have very clear bias. Um, wait, it's kind of weird that like two matches had the exact same stipulation, cause the Damian Priest and Seth Rollins match if Seth Rollins lost, he couldn't challenge Damian Priest for the belt anymore. And then in the Wesley Obafemi match, if Wesley lost, he couldn't challenge Obafemi for the belt anymore. It's a weird stipulation to have twice in one weekend. So, yeah. Anyway, opening match, Obafemi beat Wesley. This nigga Obafemi is crazy, bro. He just be chucking niggas. Like, he really just be like, get fuck off me. Like you try to do a move on Obafemi, he just gonna grip you up and throw you across the room. Not even the ring. He gonna throw you across the room. You going like I'm waiting for the day he just chucks a nigga from the ring to the crowd. Because it just seems like the next logical course of action. Because he just was bro, he was bullying this nigga Wesley, bro. Like I'm talking like he was treating him like Disney bullies used to treat the main characters in the fucking DComs, bro. I'm talking like shoving in lockers and shit. That's how bad it was for this nigga, bro. This nigga Wesley, and then like Wesley was getting some work in, but like he wasn't winning. Like you already knew he wasn't winning, so it was kind of just like okay, like they gonna have a fun match or whatever, and they did have a really good match. But this nigga over Femi, bro, like fuck that NXT breakout shit, bro. You can't even win a breakout contract no more because. Like, bro, who's gonna win the breakout contract next year and be over this nigga? This nigga chucks niggas, bro. He look like I know we're not supposed to talk about Brock Lesnar because of the whole shit, but if they were looking for the next Brock Lesnar, they got it in that nigga right there. Cause all he do is come out, I am the North American champion. Like that accent gotta be fake as fuck, bro. That accent is fake, isn't it? If it's not fake, it's not fake, but it just feels too over exaggerated to not be fake. But whatever. But he comes out. I probably shouldn't say shit like that in case the accent's real. Whatever. But yeah, he comes out. He talks his shit, but he's like, "I will be the North American." Like he does the accent. I'm not going to do the accent, but he talks his shit. And then when it comes down to do a match, he really just starts chucking niggas. He be power bombing. Like I feel like he be wanting to break the ring when niggas backs. The way he be power bombing, it just be like boom, and it's just like, nigga, are you good? Like. It's like something don't gotta break, right? You don't gotta hear bones separate when you slam a nigga. Like he's too good, and whoever beats him for that belt is gonna be a star instantly because he is fucking niggas up. Kalani Jordan versus Sol Ruka for the women's North American title. The women's North American title is such an interesting thing because it's like what the main roster has needed women's mid card titles for such a long time. Women gets lost in the shuffle so much on the main roster, especially with like the fucking women's tag team championship because the women's tag team championship is just like it kept forcing like these weird ass tag teams to be together just to have them have something to fight for. Like, and it was very clear that what they needed was a women's mid card title because they're sucking. You got the U.S. title and the IC title, but no women's mid card title, and it's definitely just had a lot of women lose their luster just off the fact that it's like, okay, you're clearly a mid card, you're clearly never going to be world champion, but like, what do you do then? You know, and like the fact that NXT got it before the main roster got it is kind of funny because they arguably don't need it as much. Like, don't get me wrong, they have a great women's roster. Their women's roster is deep, and it is a great thing to have just so you can guarantee. Well, one, so you can guarantee more women's matches because representation is important, inclusion is important. But like, a lot of these women definitely could just be like doing tournaments and shit for the main title because they are all like main title worthy, at least in my eyes. Like, if Kalani Jordan right now had a match with Roxanne Perez on TV for Roxanne's title, I would not be shocked in the slightest. I could say the same for like Sol Ruka or Thea Hill. But yet those were like the type. But yet those are the type of girls where it's like they're gonna be competing for the women's North American title, versus like for all the years Natalia was on the main roster, she could have easily been like a Dolph Ziggler, Kofi Kingston, like, hey, take this mid card title and help get somebody over. And then she fucking had to come to NXT and like do that shit anyway because there was just no way for her to pull it off on the main roster. Naomi is another good example. Like, she could easily take the mid card title and like take that shit somewhere. So it's just interesting that NXT got that before the main roster did. But back to the match at hand. It's Kalani Jordan and Sol Ruka are both very good. Sol Ruka's a little better. But like, they're both young. What's not young? I don't want to say green. I hate using wrestling terms on this podcast, but like, they're both fairly new. That's what it is. They're both fairly new to the industry. They'll get better as time goes on. So they had a match between two people who are fairly new to the industry and will be getting better as time goes on. That's not a dig. Let's keep it a buck right now. That's not a dig because that match was good. That probably was like, I'm not gonna say it was like best match of the weekend or anything. Okay, let me stop because I don't want to be mean. I don't want to bring negativity, but also like, it's a good fucking match. It's a good match, but people are gonna, oh my god, they messed up spots. Oh my god, they fucked up the moves. They're new and they're young and they like haven't like they don't have a shit ton of experience. But like, you go in front of a fucking Toronto crowd and wrestle. Oh wait, you can't because you can't fucking run a mile. Like, but it's also like we got to like the thing with NXT is you got a lot of young talent who don't have prior wrestling experience. So they don't have a lot of the fluidity and like crispness that comes with like being on the independents. You know? Like when someone like Asuka comes into the company, it's like, oh shit, she's been wrestling for years. So when she comes to NXT, she's like a big fish in a little pond. Versus like Kalani Jordan and Sol Ruka both don't have that like former wrestling background. They both got all of their wrestling knowledge from the Performance Center. And like, let's not say here like the Performance Center is some like horrible place, but like there's a very clear difference between your first match being in the Performance Center and your first match being in like a wrestling school, you know? So the match was solid. They wrestled a good match. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say the match was bad. I'm not going to say the match was boring. I'm not going to say the match was disinteresting because it was none of that. The thing that is very good about this match is, one, this was a face versus face. Fuck, I'm using wrestling terms. This was a match between two good guys. This wasn't your stereotypical like good guy versus bad guy match. So this match felt less like a whole like, oh my god, like someone's cheating, they'll get over. It felt like, okay, let's watch these two like people have a fair fight. And it felt like two people going in the ring. It felt like what it was. It was the story of like two friends going in there and having a friendly competition. You know, they're both very positive. They both have the upbeat songs. They both all smiles and giggles. They got into the ring. They had a match. They wanted to see who was better, and they saw who was better. And it's just like that kind of thing that I don't feel like we see enough in wrestling. Like, I get wrestling is all supposed to be like over the top and grandiose and oh my god, like everything's for the fucking fate of the universe. But it feels nice to have like a normal match where it's like, hey, you know, you're a number one contender, I'm the champion, let's just see who the better person is, and you know, that be the end of that. There doesn't have to be like ill will, bad blood. None of us has to turn on each other afterwards. Like, we can embrace each other afterwards, but like, let's just go in here and do our job and see who's better. And it felt good because both Kalani Jordan and Sol Ruka have such like positive like energy to them that like you just felt that shit on the screen. Despite the fact that like they were doing moves and like trying to win, it felt like two people who just really wanted to be the best at what they do. Maybe it's just like that little bit of inspiration you want in life. Maybe that's just a little bit of like corniness in me, like and shit like that. But like, imagine watching a sparring match between the two Powerpuff Girls. Like, something about that is just gonna put a little bit of joy on your face. Like, you know it's not normal and you know you're not supposed to watch it, but there's so little ill intent in it that it can't help but put a smile on your face. And I think that was really good for the match at hand. And I think that's why the match stood out to me the most, despite not being this like crazy story laden match. So, wow, I talked about that match for a long time. That was like emotions, you know. But good match. Go watch it. I'll give it 5 stars just off the fact that like that shit moved me, and it didn't really realize how much it moved me until I started talking about it. But hey, art. Tag team title match: Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Chase University. Bro, take everything I said about the last match and put that on fucking Chase University, bro. I fucking love Chase University. Fucking Andre Chase, Duke Hudson, and Thea Hill. That's a dynamic fucking trio. And I got, what's that name? Riley Osborne. They got Riley Osborne, who I think is a little underutilized right now, and they're doing the whole thing with Ridge Holland. So that whole storyline is like cool. But that main three right there, bro, the I'm not even gonna lie. I be walking around the streets or like in the crib. I just be like, CHASEU. Like, they fucking got me, bro. Like, they'll just coming out. Yeah. They be doing the fucking U. They got the Chase U section in the crowd every fucking week. Like, I fucking love them, bro. So, they're fucking great, bro. Bro, that time where that little arc Thea Hill had where she learned the Kimura lock, bro. I wanted her to win the NXT title so bad, and like she didn't win it, but it was like, damn, bro, you fuck. Like, literally everything I just said about like positivity and like good energy and just making you smile, put that shit on Chase U tenfold, because they are like the fucking like, I don't even know how you would describe what they are. That shit really feels like watching like just, I don't even know. Like, part of me wants to say like that shit feels like watching Troy and Abed with a white girl at it. But like, it's not as like comedic. Like, they don't do shit that's like inherently funny. Like, they just go through regular struggles. I think it was like when Andre Chase had the fucking gambling addiction, bro. That shit really like, that was such a real storyline. They're just throwing goofy ass NXT. NXT is very, very, very. I cannot emphasize how very goofy NXT is. NXT is such a goofy ass show that they made underground matches work. And for anybody who knows wrestling and knows the horrors of what Raw Underground was, like the idea that you can take Raw Underground, give it to NXT and Shawn Michaels, and they fucking make it work. There hasn't been a bad NXT Underground match. Think about how many bad Raw Underground matches we saw during the pandemic, and think about the fact that NXT is like what 5 for 5, probably even more. They got the fucking Heritage Cup. They've got the No Quarter Catch Crew. They've got the No Quarter Catch Crew, who won the Heritage Cup, and then they were like, one nigga won the Heritage Cup, and then they were like, we're a family of wrestlers and blah 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 blah. So when it's time for us to defend this cup, you're never gonna know which one of us you're facing because we're all defending this cup. And this was a group of 4 niggas saying, yeah, bro, you're gonna have a mystery opponent. Anytime you're facing one of us, it's a mystery opponent because you won't know who till we get to the ring, and it always worked. They got the fucking, like, Trick Williams is a thing that should not work. Braun Breaker was like, I'm not gonna say Braun Breaker should not work, but what's that shit called? The Iron Survivor matches should not have worked. And Chase U is just one of those things that really should not work, but they just embrace so much of the goofiness of the shit that's happening that, like, you cannot help but smile at it. You cannot help but, like, just accept it and embrace it. And I feel like because you accept and embrace so much goofy shit, when it comes time for them to go through a real struggle, ooh, excuse me, when it comes time for these fucking goofy ass wrestlers to go through a real life struggle, it hits you so much harder. Like, cause watching goofy ass Chase U who come out and do their fucking chant every week and they stomp and they spell Chase U and Thea Hill's all energy and screaming and they're all like, oh my gosh, she's the youngest person and he fucking wrestles in the fucking sneakers and like the fucking teacher's pants, and other ball carries around the fucking #1 trophy like a standard jock, and then when they go through a fucking gambling addiction storyline, that shit hurts. It hurts more than it really should. Or like when Thea Hill loses her friends and they tell her that she needs to be less energetic and she stops being energetic, and then they turn on her and then the crowd like gives her her energy back. Like, what type of Dragon Ball Z I need your energy shit is this? But it works. It works every fucking time, bro. And then Nation Fraser and Axiom, like, their whole thing is speed, bro. Like, never slow it down. They just come in, run at 1,000,000 miles an hour, do a bunch of frog splashes, and you get fucking over. Because, like, why would you not? You've got White Rey Mysterio with long hair and Axiom with a mask, and they just go in there and fucking run around and put on a fucking 4-star match every time they get into the ring. So, of course, they went in there, had a great match. Like, NXT is so fucking fun, bro. Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice. This is the one match where I was like, what, bro? Because, I'm sorry, trying to have Lola Vice be the good guy after she just cheated and won 2 underground matches, and now she wants to be like, I want to call my mom and tell her I'm NXT champion. Fuck you. Fuck you. You've been insufferable for, like, the past 2 years, and you cut, like, 1 promo, and I'm supposed to, like you now? And also, like, no, bro, I like Roxanne Perez since Ring of Honor. So, like, no, you're not going to sit here and tell me she's the bad guy no matter how many times she's, oh my gosh, she's going insane. She'll do anything to win. Bro, she got screwed out of her title. Like, if I got screwed out of my title and had to fight for a year to get it back, and every time I got a title match, I got screwed by some outside element, like, yeah, I'd become a cheater too. Like, what? That was like, I don't know. That's the one time. Well, like, the commentators did play into the fact that, like, people like Roxanne and not a lot of people brought in the Lola's thing, or like not that it was not a lot of people. How many times you want? Not a lot. Oh, yo, but they did play into it. It was a 50-50 split in the crowd. I was team Roxanne. Roxanne ended up winning. It was a good match. WWE does this weird thing where, like, someone hits, like, the outside of the turnbuckle with the LED light part, and the, like, show it broke, they just turn that part of the screen off. But, like, when you cut back to it later, it's back on, and it very clearly didn't break, and they just turned the screen off. Like, oh my god, she hit the screen so hard it broke. Like, you know, someone in the production truck flipped the switch. Like, if it broke, it wouldn't have turned back on. Like, we would have at least seen, like, production run down the ramp or something to fix it. Like, that turnstile did not get fixed. Y'all just turned it off and then back on. And it's like, stop doing that, please. Like, please, you do not have to fucking, like, turn the screen off. Like, I heard her hand hit the thing. I know it's supposed to hurt. I saw her do the whole, my hand. Like, I get it. It's fake, but you don't have to lie to me that hard. Like, damn, I'm not dumb. I don't know. It's one of those things you notice when like you're not that invested in the match. I wasn't that invested in Lola Vice. Like there was like the only way this match was really gonna get me invested in Lola Vice was if Lola Vice won, and like Lola Vice didn't win, and I didn't see her winning, and like maybe that's on me. I'm not trying to be like mean about it, cause I do like Roxanne, but I don't like Lola Vice. She's good in underground matches, but I feel like once it's time to like do a regular match, it just doesn't hit for me for some reason, and I don't know why. Who is this? Oh, it's Jada. Oh, okay. I don't know. The match wasn't for me. I mean, like it was a good match, but it definitely was like it's definitely the type of match where I call a 3-star match, where it's like okay, you kind of did everything I expected you to do, but nothing out of here like nothing like brought me out of the box a little bit. Then the main event, Fatal 4-Way NXT title, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, Sean Spear, Ethan Page. Fatal 4-Ways are like so like chaotic. This match was chaos. This match was chaos from top to bottom. Even down to the fact that the person who won by accident. They did the whole like person takes a finisher and falls onto person who takes a finisher and gets the 3 count while knocked out. So Ethan Page pinned Javon Evans for the win. It was a good match. Once again, it wasn't a. You can't really do a match at least with a shit ton of story because you just got four competing elements. Not four competing elements, but you just got four people, so it's hard to really zero in on like any element for too long because you got to keep the action rolling. So MVP of the match for me was Javon Evans because he's really good. Trick Williams is always great. Ethan Page is very great. Sean Spears is very great. Like these are four very great wrestlers going in and putting on a very great match. And I do like the fact that like in this loss, quote unquote, I can do the thing, but in this loss, Trick Williams didn't look like he did not that he didn't look weak, even though he didn't look weak, but he didn't look idiotic. Like he was always there to break up the pinfalls. He was treated like the biggest dude in the room. He was treated like the biggest star in the room. When he lost the title, it was very clearly like just a cornball moment on the element on the not the elements, but on the air of everyone else. Like he was the one that hit the two finishers that got the pin. He was the one that tried to break up the pin. Sean Spears was the one that pulled him back from breaking up that pin. He was the one most devastated at the loss. He was the one that you can clearly see deserved the win the most. Even the fact that like he was being pulled from breaking up a pin that he set up, like his eye was never off the ball, and I feel like they did a good job at conveying like, hey, this isn't like this is a setback for Trick Williams, but this isn't the end of Trick Williams because that match he clearly had that match in the bag, and it was just really shit circumstances of having to deal with so many other elements at play. So yeah, I really like that match. I like the way it ended. I give that a 5 stars. Damn, I did a lot of talking, bro. Anyway, I'm gonna end the episode here. Next week we'll talk about video games. This felt good. This felt good. Anyway, I'm Resident Crackhead Carrot Dizzle. I will see you guys next time.